Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Busterz. I'm your host Ilana. Today on our show we will be interviewing Greek gods and goddesses. They will be sharing their lives and beliefs with us. I hope that you all learned some new information from our guests. Our first guest is Athena. Hi Athena.
Good morning.
Today we are going to ask you some questions.
That sounds good.
Can you please tell us more about yourself and your abilities?
Yeah, sure. I can transfigure myself, other mortals, and simple objects. I am the goddess of courage, inspiration, warfare, and strength. I have rational thinking, and not to brag, but I am Zeus's favorite daughter, and I was allowed to wield his lightning bolt.
Very cool. What's the most interesting event that you have participated in?
Probably the time I overreacted and turned someone into the first spider. She was insulting me and other Olympic gods, so I transfigured myself into an old woman and went down to the mortals to challenge her. We had a weaving contest, and I may have overreacted when I lost. So I turned her into an 8-legged, 8-eyed beast and gave her the ability to spin a web as the small and last reminder of her skill.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us what is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you?
Probably the way I was born. My father Zeus swallowed my mom whole, scared that she would birth a god more powerful than him. However, without knowing, she had already conceived. After probably one of the worst headaches in all realms, my father gave birth to me through his forehead, and I was fully grown and in full battle armor.
That is very interesting. Thank you, Athena, for coming on the show and sharing insights about your life.
No problem.
Now we have our next guest, Hades, god of the underworld. Hello, Hades.
Hello, Ilana.
So, what are your capabilities?
Well, I'm Hades. I'm the ruler of the underworld, and I'm the coolest god you'll ever meet. I have the power to kill anyone I want, and I rule the dead. I have two brothers named Zeus and Poseidon. Zeus has power over the sky, and Poseidon has power over the sea. My brothers banished me to this horrible place and made men hate me. But I'm a chill guy. I'm also the god of wealth. I have 1 billion drachmas worth of precious metal.
That's cool. Can you tell us more about the underworld?
Yeah, sure. The underworld is my home, and it is really big. It's so nice because whatever I want to happen actually happens. My loyal subjects, the dead, do whatever I say, and my dog guards the underworld. His name is Cerberus, and he has 3 heads. I employed these creatures called Furies to torture the guilty. I also have a cool throne made of ebony, and I always carry my scepter.
That's interesting. I'm interested to know whether you have ever left the underworld.
Well, I am not allowed to leave the underworld, but sometimes I secretly do. I have to cross the river Styx, Lethe, Archeron, Phlegathon, Cocytus, and after that, I must cross the ocean. It is a long journey. Unfortunately, the last time I did that, Zeus caught me and got really mad at me, so now I have to lay low for a while.
That sucks. Thank you, Hades, for all the interesting information you shared. We are happy you were able to join us today.
No problem.
Our next guest today is Phobos. I am so happy that you were able to join us today. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ilana.
I am going to ask you some questions.
Sure.
What makes you a god?
Well, I have the ability to control fear. The word phobia is actually derived from my name, Phobos, which means fear. My parents are Aphrodite and Ares. My mother, Aphrodite, is a goddess of love and beauty, and my father, Ares, is a god of war. I'm well known for accompanying my father into a famous battle pulling his chariot. Also a brother named Diamos, who is a god of terror. If you know about Roman mythology, you would also know that me either as Timor or Timorous. You also know me as Pavor.
Very nice to know. Our audience is curious to know what was the most eventful moment you've experienced.
My most eventful moment is during the Battle of Gaugamela. During the battle, I accompanied my father, the ancient gods Enyo, Eros the goddess of discord, and my twin brother Deimos. In that battle, Alexander the Great made sacrifices to me to fill Darius with fear.
Well, we heard from Athena about her most interesting encounter. What's yours?
Well, my most interesting encounter is when that people start offering sacrifices to me in my name. Even warriors and heroes like Hercules and Agamemnon started worshipping me.
I see. Okay, thank you, Phobos, for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're welcome.
Our next guest is Hera. Hello, Hera.
Hello.
Can you tell us your special abilities?
My abilities are similar to other Olympian gods and goddesses. I have super strength, immortality, and resistance to injury. Since I'm the goddess of marriage and women, I have the ability to bless or curse marriages.
Wow. Can you please share with us how did you feel when Zeus cheated on you?
When Zeus cheated on me, I became very jealous and vengeful. I went into a huge rage and took vengeance on his former lovers. One time I punished Io by having Argus watch her so Zeus could not help her. Another time I turned Callisto into a bear.
Wow. My final question for you today is who are your friends and who are your enemies?
I don't have many friends, but the friends I do have are my kids and the people who helped me throughout my life. One of my enemies is Hercules. The reason for this is because I couldn't forgive him for being Zeus's son. I used my powers to prevent Hercules from becoming the ruler of Mycenae. Although this happened following the death of Hercules, we reconciled with each other, and as a result, he married my daughter Hebe.
Thank you for visiting us on the show today, Hera.
Not a problem.
Our last guest today is Artemis. Hi, Artemis.
Hi, Ilana.
Can you tell us what are your powers?
Well, first, I am the goddess of the hunt, maidenhood, young girls, and the moon. My parents are Zeus and Leto. I have a twin brother. His name is Apollo. When my mother was going into labor, Hera cursed her because Zeus cheated on her again. The curse was that my mother couldn't give birth on any land with roots, so she found Delos. At that time, Delos was a floating island. That is where my mom gave birth to me and my brother.
Very interesting. What are your sacred animals?
Well, my sacred animals are the deer, the dog, the bear, the boar, and the guinea fowl. My favorite animal would be the bear.
Very cool. Who do you hate the most and why?
Well, I have many enemies. There are 3 people I actually hate a lot. Actaeon is one of my enemies because he looked at my followers while they were bathing. Adonis is one of my other enemies because he bragged about being a better hunter than me. It made me jealous. Finally, I hate Orion because he tried to date me, and I said no for many reasons, but mostly because he killed all of my followers in a rage.
Thank you, Artemis, for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on this show.
Well, that is the end of today's show. I would like to thank our guests Athena, Hades, Phobos, Hera, and Artemis for joining us. Tune in next week to learn about Roman gods and goddesses. We will have Gaia, known as the Earth Goddess, Jupiter, God of Thunder, and Apollo, God of Archery coming. Good night from all of us at Greek Week.